FlashBack Friday. Today I am here with my very own little baby doll. This is a Madame Alexander Little Huggums, and I'm going to get into a little bit about her cradle that I have her in, and all that other jazz. But first I'm going to start off with Madame Alexander and the Huggum baby itself, that was launched and produced in 1963. She was a larger doll. She had vinyl limbs, vinyl legs and arms, and she had hair. And she was a really popular doll. She did really well. And Madame Alexander thought, you know what? We want to create a Huggums for the baby. And we know that babies tend to drool and they want to hug and, you know, hold their dollies and just tote them with them everywhere. So we can't have something very big or heavy with the vinyl limbs, or hair that's going to get drooled on or spit up, or, you know, any kind of stuff in it. So they wanted to give her a molded painted hair, and just something that was a little bit more accessible for the baby. So they created the 12-inch Little Huggums that was produced in 1964. The big one, I believe, was 63, yes. And then this one was introduced in 64. But this particular one that I have was issued in 1966. That's the year that, yeah, I was born. So anyway, my mom, this is a little bit of history about my particular Huggums. This is my original Huggums from childhood. Had taken us to, like, there was a Salvation Army, but not like a thrift store that you would know of today. It was set on the grounds of, like, what looked to be, you know, an old church, or like a property from the archdiocese. It was just this old, really large castle-like structure, and they would have bazaars, or not necessarily a flea market. It was just an open type of event where you can buy, moms could buy pots and pans and, you know, housewares and linens and things like that. And I do remember some clothing, but they were toys too. And I remember everything had to be like in really nice shape. And so thereabouts on my little wanderings with my mother, I found my baby Huggums. Now, my baby Huggums was in beautiful condition when I originally got her, and I loved her to pieces. And we had a German Shepherd named Sinbad, and he also was the love of my life as a child. And everywhere I was, that's where Sinbad was. And Sinbad had taken an affinity to my little Huggums as well. And so he got a hold of her one day, and he chewed off her hand. And you know, I was sad about it. Also, he chewed up her original outfit, which I'm going to post a picture of what she really looked like later on in this video, so you could see what the little Huggums looked like before my friend Sinbad got a hold of her. But anyway, that didn't stop me from loving her. Thank God he never really touched her face or anything like that. She's got sleep eyes. Let's see if she'll close her eyes. Yes, she does have sleep eyes. She's just the sweetest little baby. I've always, always, always loved her. She, you know, is the earliest doll that well, there are a few dolls that I can remember, but one that I really loved and had with me everywhere. She was just my favorite. I had a little pram that I would put her in, and, you know, Madame Alexander knew what they were doing when they made these babies, because they are truly little Huggums. You just want to hug them and hold them, and they're just so comfortable and the perfect size for a baby. So I really have to say kudos to Madame Alexander. I think I remember at one point buying a reproduction, but not nearly as cute as my original. And I do know that they were being produced as late as the 1990s. And, you know, Madame Alexander still produces a lot of their baby dolls to this day. But nothing for me is ever going to touch my little Huggums and this sweet, innocent little face, the little open mouth, and the plump cheeks. She was just everything for me, and so soft and squishy and lovable that you could just take her anywhere and it wouldn't be a bother. Also, it was nice for moms too, because as I said, they didn't have to worry about the little ones, you know, messing with their hair too much or anything like that. They were just a sweet overall little adorable little beautiful dumpling of a doll. And so with that, this is a short and sweet and fast little story about Madame Alexander and the Huggums doll. As I said, the original Huggums, produced in 1963, was a larger version with hair and vinyl limbs. 1964, the little Huggums came to be, but it wasn't until 1966 that the production that I recall having, came to be. And for me, that was my favorite one. I will have some pictures. I'll try to insert a picture of the body, the new body that I made for my little girl. Although my Sinbad had only really eaten her right hand, I totally gave her a new body because their bodies tend to get soiled and things like that. So I just put a new skin on her, and I'm going to show my little baby in her entirety at the end, before and after. I'm going to show you a little bit here. I'm sorry, with my hand there. This little rocker that I got. It's a little antique rocker, and I have her sleeping in this rocker as her little bed. And my husband came upon this rocker, and I think he paid like $9.98 for it. It is an antique. It's very old. It's solid. It's beautiful. And I couldn't think of a more appropriate way to have my little baby stored in this, little rocker here. This little outfit I found was a little vintage outfit, and it was as closely resembling the one that she originally wore. I did add on those little add-ons to make it look more like her original little sleeper, which I will show, as I say, at the end of this little video here. So I want to thank all of you for joining in the hashtag FlashBack Friday. I am going to go pop over and watch everybody who has a FlashBack Friday video up. And I thank you so much for joining. Also want to give a shout out to Lynn for her Fresh Face Friday. This is about as fresh face as this little one's going to get, as she's been cleaned up and freshened up. And I just want to say, love each other, support each other, be good dolly friends to one another, and we hope to see you back real soon. Have an awesome and blessed weekend, everyone. Bye.